Welcome. Another episode of our Footy Fantasy Pod. Today, it's Newcastle. We have to do some stuff on Newcastle. It's been a while. We had someone here. Well, before I jump into that, if you're watching this, like, share, subscribe. Footy Fantasy, YouTube. It's at the bottom of the description. You can find my name. So Footy Fantasy, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Please like, share, subscribe, tell everybody about it. That's how you can support us. So let's dive in. Welcome to our guest. To start with the Newcastle man himself, Mr. Raji. I'm sure you're pumped. How you doing? It's been a while. Happy New Year. I guess first time on the pod, right? This year.
Happy New Year to you too. Well, I'm hoping that next season I can come in more often when we start to challenge for the Premiership. But I'll take this this introduction and this once in a while joining of the podcast. I'll take it for now.
Boy, I'm sure. Maybe we'll see. That might be tall dreams, but we'll see if you guys can start challenging next year. Next on, our coach himself, our one and only coach Yemi, Manchester United fan, also football avid lover of the game. How you doing, sir?
We need to work on this introduction. So how about you just say, you see, as I mentioned his name, Raji. Simple. People don't. Thank you. I'm doing good. Just put Raji all these extracurricular activities. But thank you, though.
We have to respect our
Thank
coach.
Stop it.
We have to respect. Okay, let's dive in.
Coach, thank you, Coach.
Hi, you joined them too.
Everybody knows you're a coach. I mean, let's be serious. Here. Everybody knows that. And right in time, we have our resident AFCON man, United fan, and also Parable. Always has one Parable, the other. Mr. Itaka.
Yes, sir. Ajayi, Raji, and of course the host Ayo. It's good to see all of you.
Good to
see you too, man.
Yeah.
Good to have you on here. So we're starting with Newcastle today. Let's start with Newcastle. Let Mr. Haji tell us. Eddie Howe has been there for about 3 months, right? Approximately 3 months. It looks like, at least my opinion, let me just give intro. It looks like he's doing relatively well, relatively okay, at least, for sure. Got it some January signs. Let's just first start. What's your thoughts about Eddie Howe? 3 months of Eddie Howe so far.
I think that I remember when we, when I joined the last discussion after we got the takeover, and we were talking about who was going to be the manager, and I think that was basically when nobody really thought that Eddie Howe was going to be the manager at that point. I think it was we're talking about the coach from Sevilla, I think, Emery, I've forgotten his name, Omar Chan, the former coach for Arsenal. I've forgotten his name. That's how time has changed. At that particular point, we couldn't forget his name. But the interesting thing about it is he has gone down to the fundamentals, and I think the first thing he did was he tried to stop the rot. I don't know if you followed a lot of the things that Steve Bruce was saying. And the media can be very ridiculous because they were saying things like you bring in anybody to this Newcastle team, nobody can control them, nobody can make this team better. The players are very bad, and Steve Bruce is the best we could have. Even Steve Bruce was going on TV saying that we can't play with a back four. The Newcastle defense is really bad. We have to be counter. We can't control the game. And all of this stuff. And we've seen that over time, as the week has progressed, we're seeing a significant improvement in some of the players that we have. I would say that 80% of the players have improved under Howe.
Yep.
We've got a 45 million pound midfielder that can't get into a team because Shelby, Willock, and Joe Linton are holding him off every single week, so he has to do cameos, and the coach is the person who rewards success.
Yeah.
So even no matter how expensive you are, you can't just waltz into the team. So one of the defense has improved significantly. One of the things that a lot of people were saying before the January signing was that Newcastle was going to go in and splash money. They're going to get in big signings and all of those stuffs. The truth about it is, everything that Newcastle did was very strategic. We didn't sign Mbappe, contrary to many beliefs. But a lot of people they signed have improved the team significantly. They've added solidity to the back. Look at Dan Burn, this tall centre back who you can't get the ball past most of the time now. This captain Lascelles is on the bench, which is a very difficult decision to make.
Correct.
But the manager makes this decision and he says he wants ball playing midfielders coming from the back, connected to the midfield, and trying to get the attack going. That is the biggest change that we've had with Newcastle. The technical prowess has improved significantly. Players are doing things instinctively, and they're enjoying their game. And I would say that outside of the top six, Newcastle probably has one of the best midfields in terms of diversity, hardworking, and the ability to distribute the ball on the pitch. We don't have a good striker. If we had a good striker, Newcastle would be putting in 3 or 4. So we're missing Callum Wilson. And you have to say all of this is down to what the manager has instilled in the team in the last 90 days. So that's just the summary.
Okay. So you don't consider Chris Wood a good striker?
I mean, what is the job of a striker, to be fair? Chris Wood is good. He's good. He's good at forcing the centre backs to do things they don't want to do. They always have to account for Chris Wood in the team because you never know where he's going to. He runs, he heads the ball, but the problem is he's not as good a finisher as he is at doing all these other things. So what you eventually have is somebody who is not on his game when it comes to finishing chances, but you can tell that he's working for the teams. And I think that having someone like Callum Wilson there instead of him, you would have seen a more potent forward. But Chris Wood is good for what he is right now. A hardworking forward person who gives wingers Alan Saint-Maximin and a chance to attack the post, as well as holds the ball enough so that the midfield can come forward.
Okay, good point. Let me take this quick comment from, I think it's from Tito. I checked it. So Wood. Love you, Ayo. Thanks, Tito, for your support. Thank you. Yemi, what are your thoughts about Eddie Howe so far at Newcastle?
Man, Homba said everything. He said everything. But I want to shout out one guy, Chris Dunn, like the centre back. He has brought some level of steel and strength to y'all's defense. That is huge for you people. I've seen 2 games he played just for you guys, and then your defense has changed because he's constantly communicating, which is great for most solid center backs. Do talk a lot, and they have to coordinate. Yeah, he is constantly communicating. He's constantly telling people where to be. You need that vocal leadership from defense if your team is going to be good, and the guy actually has stepped up. And so I was watching people's game today, and I know that people miss this Saint Maximin. If he was on that game today, you guys will probably have just dealt with West Ham a lot more quicker. You probably would have scored like 2-3 goals because you guys miss his directness and how he actually drives the ball. So, but yeah, man, your team, John Joe Shelby, man. That guy is now turning into Xavi Alonso now, pinning passes, tackling, drawing. I'm saying like, I have to look at is this Xavi Alonso? But like, he has always had that in him. But like, I mean, how now coming in has really allowed these guys to actually play really good football. They dominated West Ham today, to be honest with you. In most aspects of the game, they moved the ball a lot better. It wasn't Route 1 football. move the ball. The ball was on the ground for the most time. Everybody's touching, everybody's running. So yes, like you said, Mr. Hardy. I mean, maybe I pencil them down to be relegated before. I don't see that happening again.
I thank you. I mean, we share a lot of the similar observations based on the game that we watched. I think that one of the things you mentioned was the fact that Dan Burn came in and he added a lot of solidity to the team. But I'm going to say this too, because they're unsung heroes. Matt Taggart playing in right back
Very
and
true.
Aaron
Very
Trippier
true.
playing in left back. That solidity at the back.
Triple is not right.
Yeah, Trippier broke his foot, so he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Metataso or Metataso or 68.
Yeah. So the thing about it is, despite the fact that they missed him and we lost some quality in the back, the team still maintains solidity despite that, and that has to be down to coaching. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Craft is not Trippier, and Trippier comes in from the back and he scores goals for us. But the fact that we were still able to maintain the solidity. West Ham didn't have any shot on target until they had that free kick chance that Craig Dawson scored.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was under Steve Bruce, the head would have gone down, and West Ham would have scored two more. But under Eddie Howe, within 15 minutes, we had equalized. This is the same thing that happened with Everton. Everton scored against Newcastle from a set piece, and Newcastle scored back within 2 minutes. This kind of mentality where we're never down, we must attack, is one of the things that Eddie Howe has brought, and it's been a while since Newcastle has had this kind of ambition, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
Okay.
Can I say one more thing? Sorry. Just it's 2 sentences. I like how he's using Jolinton now compared to the way the past coach did. Yes, he was playing in midfield, but now you see his vertical runs. Because most of the time, Jolinton play will go sideways, come inside, go side. But now he's providing legs. Him and Willock providing legs now for John Joseph. I like your midfield three, and I like the balance they bring. Willock doesn't provides the drive. He gets the ball. He drives. He has a little bit of skill, so he can always provide. I am curious to see what this Guimaraes will bring to your team if they move John Joseph a little bit up and maybe sit Willock or Jolinton and actually see how that midfield will be. That will be a very, very strong midfield. Yeah, Mr. Moderator.
I think that it's interesting because if there's anybody that's going to go out because of Bruno, it's probably going to be Willock. I think that John Joshelvi brings something to the team that nobody else brings. And
in your midfield, yes. In your
exactly,
midfield, yes.
and Jolinton brings something that Willock can bring. It's been a transformation because we bought Jolinton as a striker. He was brought in as a number 9.
Yeah, I know.
And when Steve Bruce didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know what to do with him. He would play him in the forward, he would play him in the wings. He didn't know. And it was kudos to Eddie Howe saying, "Oh wow, I think that this guy can be the Vieira of this team." And that's all he does. Immediately he sees somebody with the ball, he's attacking them. They pass, he's going after every single person on the pitch. He's like the bull of the whole team, constantly harassing everybody with the ball. So it's an interesting transformation for him.
Okay.
He did that to Manchester United, so I know really well.
I got comments as man like Raji out here looking like he has been chopping that Saudi money.
Abio, look at that.
Get some of it to my side. Mr. Tata, any thoughts on Newcastle under the house so far?
Yeah, I mean, if Mr. Raji was if he's married and his wife is celebrated in public, if I hold a microphone after him, I can't give a better description of his wife. So he has said everything, he has pretty much nailed everything. But like Ajayi has said, that midfield three, the balance is incredible. And of course, nobody talks about the Scottish Shaqiri, Ryan Fraser. I love that dude. Energy. He keeps driving. He pushes. I mean, Howe has brought incredible balance to that Newcastle team. It's not the same team anymore.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
not the same team. I think it's clear for everyone to see the balance is there,
Is that
and I think they can only go up the table now.
okay? I,
And it's up to them to blow it or not.
okay, I think so.
I,
I
I
think
will say this real quick. One last thing. Newcastle has plays Brentford next week.
okay.
And I think if we beat Brentford, we become 14th on the table, and we would have 2 games in hand against Brentford. Uh,
Mm. Mm.
I think Brentford is in trouble, and
I see why you say what you say.
yeah, there's a
I
level
see
of
why you say what.
there's a level of consistency with Newcastle, so we know what their baseline is.
Yeah,
So for Brentford to be able to beat Newcastle, they have to bring their game up.
yeah.
But we know that Newcastle plays at a certain level. And if they go against anybody, this is what you expect. This is the thing that we couldn't get under Steve Bruce, but now we have it under Eddie Howe. So I know that at any point we play any team in the Premiership, everybody has to bring their A game to be able to dominate the midfield that Newcastle has. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, I agree. One thing that's very impressive, I think, that has not been highlighted so much is how Eddie House has been known historically as an expansive attacking manager, but somehow, like all of you have highlighted, he has brought balance. I was looking at the numbers, and I think over the last 6 games, Newcastle have the third best expected goals conceded. Like amount of big chances they give up is the third best in the whole Premier League. Newcastle is third best. Yeah,
Impressive.
so it's very impressive about them. Quick one, I just want one answer. I'm going to ask everyone here, and I'll start with Raju, of course. Two, first, give me the person which player has impressed you the most under Eddie Howe, and what signing have you liked to start so far? I know it's still early, but for Newcastle. So that's the two questions.
I think those are relatively easy. I
Okay.
think the player that's impressed the most has been Joe Linton. I think that he still has problems in front of goal. I think he gets nervous and he tries to snatch at the ball and he makes mistakes. But the transformation of him from a striker to a midfielder to a Vieira type midfielder has been incredible. I think that is the biggest transformation so far because a lot of people didn't think it was worth 42 million.
Yeah.
Now you can't deny that. Any team would want him in their team. Secondly, I think that the best signing we've had so far has been Kieran Trippier.
Yeah.
I think that what he brings is leadership, and he brought stability to the defense. One of the things that we lacked, even when Lascelles was playing, he was communicating throughout the game, making sure that the defense was was in sync. And it took a few games for that to work out, but you could see that towards like the last 3 games that we won, he contributed the goals and he also contributed stability in the back. So Kieran Trippier is probably going to be the captain of Newcastle next season.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Yemi?
New signing. I have to say Don because I've seen him play and
Born.
I'm impressed.
You mean born.
Don, Bon, my bad.
Yeah, okay.
Bon, yeah, the center back. I mean, there's a difference when he walked in there when he plays his height and everything. We see what he does. So, if there's a player that I'm impressed with right now at the team, has to be John Joe Shelby. Since the time that Eddie Howe has been there, he has almost been consistent. He has been pulling in minimum 7/10
Mm.
performance. That was something he wasn't given under the past coach, Bruce. And now his game is become much more matured, very, very expansive. He knows how to track back, and his anger is not getting the best out of him right now. Maybe simply because of the fact that he is beginning to enjoy the way the team plays. There's a transition now between defense and midfield to attack. So yeah, I've answered your question.
Okay. It's at
My signing, it's I think I would still go with Scottish Shaqiri. I just love him. I love him. I love the way he plays.
Ryan Fraser.
And yeah, and for me, I mean, you have to pick Lord Voldemort, like Liam Jaya said. He's he's incredible, man. He is incredible.
Okay.
And you know, he played. I think he played as a 9.5 or a support striker for Liverpool. The evolution of his game is superb.
Incredible. Yeah, I agree.
He's very
It was a
mature.
box to box. It was a box to box slash number 10 in the beginning. Then he
Mm,
started moving back, moving back. He actually played as a sixth at some point in time. But yeah, you're right.
yeah,
Is it shows his understanding of the game too.
Yeah,
I mean that can be understated.
yeah,
It's difficult. It's not that easy for you to transition from attack and be
yeah.
moving back. That's why the Jodison Erlington guy. It takes a lot of intelligence for you to move from striker to a box to box energetic run around, grab ball and drive the team. That takes a lot of maturity in the game.
yeah, yeah. And just to
I'll,
go ahead, go ahead.
I'll say that the question about the anger that even Oga Kwame just brought up is, I think is not as much maturity as understanding what the game plan is, and making sure that at no point don't you know what you're supposed to do. So he knows what he's supposed to do at every single game, at every single point of the game. So the lack of clarity uh, contributed to his frustrations, which probably led to
It's for
some ridiculous attacks in the past. So I think that this clarity of purpose is also very helpful, and I think he's even talked about it in some interviews for Newcastle.
Okay, that's good. Like our comment said, Shelby anger thing. I think it's just maturity. He's no longer that kid who used to lose his head. He's combining his talent and maturity now. I really like him. Just to wrap up on Newcastle, for me, I like Raji said, signing I like the most has been Trippier. It's so sad that he got that nasty injury and we out for almost 2 months. Um, while the player that I've seen the biggest transformation, who was already there, yeah, like Tata said, Shakiri, Ryan Fraser has been really good. He's been really good. I've liked watching him. Okay, let's move on. Still sticking with the EPL, uh, the title race. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have a title race on our hand now. For so long, I was posting different memes every week. I was just posting memes of disappointment, like whatever. But now, even just as a neutral, in things like this, I have to wear my neutral hat because I mean, what's the point of trying to say, oh, either one of them is going to win it? Man City Spurs today was that's probably one of the best games between I guess traditional top six teams I've seen in a while, right? Because almost every game City has played this season against, okay, I guess the Liverpool game was kind of like this. It has been like they just controlled the game. Like when they played Manchester United, Chelsea, they just locked everything down. But today I was like, wow. And this is, in my opinion, this is probably Harry Kane's best performance in a big game since the days of maybe Poch. Like when that was even like Poch time when they were doing good. Not
mm,
this is the best, and I'm not even saying
mm.
because when you watch the game today, just giving my own analysis, proper center forward play. His arrival into the box, laying it off, bringing it up into the play, one touch, bam. He switches the play quickly, making like time runs, score with a header I scored twice that one got disallowed, scored with his right leg or his left leg. Just quick finish. He was exceptional today. I'm like, wow, is this Hurricane trying to, show Man City like, oh, whatever, like you guys should have, or just prove a point that you guys can still come for me next summer? Because I don't believe in agendas, right? And I don't believe players want to lose. I always say that. Let me put that out there. I'm not those people that believe that. Oh, that mentality thing. I think people overblow that issue because I believe like elite athletes want to win. It's favorable to them when they win. Their stock is at the highest. They can ask for the most fees. Like so, it favors them all through. But I think sometimes, like in this situation, there's this thing of like, okay, this is City. I'm going to specially up for it because today everything was crisp. I'm like, wow, where has this Hurricane been all season? It was incredible. It was incredible. On Man City's point of view, this is what Man City does, right? We see this every season. right? When they go on the 15-game run, they always have that one game where just like most times it was against us under social. It happened continuously. After they win 15 games, they play Manchester United, they will lose. They just switch off. You know, I think that's what this is, in my opinion. Like today, they were just sloppy with the ball. They were trying to be too intricate. You know, they were not as compact as they normally are. It's almost like personally, I don't think they respected Spurs because normally Man City, especially the big games, they are very compact. So when they even lose the ball, their midfield is flooded. You can't like easily break on them. The way Spurs were breaking on them today, it's like wow, is this like what's going on? They were just wide. So those are my thoughts about today's game. Yemi, did you watch the game?
Yeah, I did. Song, if that guy is still a Spurs player by the end of this season, then there's something wrong with this world.
It's not an extension.
I remember I remember one time when they were, I heard somebody saying that they are going to put Song and Rashford in the same sentence. I know Itata is probably going to shake his head. That guy is is probably one of the most underrated players in the league. His ability to link up play from midfield to attack, him and Harry Kane switching that responsibility.
Yeah,
That guy is probably one of the most intelligent forwards we have in the league.
I agree.
And now I don't know if he can replicate that in another bigger team. Sometimes, man, the situation has to just be right for you, right team that is built around you and stuff. But Song today, I am just impressed with that guy, man. Every time I've been watching him, he oozes just some type of intelligence. It's like this Dennis Beckham type of intelligence, where like he just knows his touch. It's the that guy plays sexy football. I'm sorry, man. Every time I see him, I'm always like, "Oh man, he's a good ball player." And like, sorry, man. When you see people do like this on the field, then you know that this guy can touch. He's a good ball player. It's just like what you said, Mr. Moderator. The guys. Man City. I don't think Man City was really bad today. They just encountered Hurricane and Song today. They were on a different level.
Yeah.
And Man City did not have any answer to that because what that did was it forced City to play back and forth. City does not like playing back and forth. If they play back and forth football without the control that they need, they controlled possession most of the time, but it wasn't like their type of controlled possessive play. It's more like back and forth, back and forth. I'm afraid of counter, so I can't go. If I go too much, I have to run back down. City don't like playing that type of football.
No,
Spurs force them to play a type of football that they're not really comfortable playing because I would say that they're not comfortable. Maybe they're not comfortable because they don't play it as much. But yeah, this is kudos to Conte, kudos to Spurs players, and you can just imagine if City had Harry Kane as a striker. We are beginning to see that yes, in as much as City is a well-oiled machine, if they had Harry Kane, it would have even helped them play much more controlled, where like they can go route one, and Harry Kane can just help them. So yeah, I can keep going on and on.
you know what's very funny was earlier in the season. I think after they had won 10 games in a row and they had got into like 9 points in the season, press conference with Pep. And you know Pep and his mother, they asked him, "Oh Pep, you said you wanted the striker, I wanted Harry Kane. Now you put 9 points. It looks like you guys don't need the striker." This is what he said. I'm going to imitate Pep. Pep was like, "I promise you, there'll be a game this season. I'll lose the game." And people come back and tell me, "Oh, Pep, where's the striker? It looks like you need that striker." That guy is a clown.
Yes.
I think it was
He
Ghana.
He's a class act.
Trust me,
Yeah.
but that's what's going to happen. I'll lose again, and you come here and tell me, "I need the striker."
Yes.
I'm sure press conference today. That's the topic they'll bring up. That Pep, Hurricane, all of that. What are your thoughts, Itata?
Well, I've never doubted the abilities of Kane. He's one of the few un-British players, at least in the modern era. When you're talking about schools, Carrick,
Gascoigne.
Gascoigne, who is the guy that used to play for Arsenal? Oh, the '96 team. Yeah, you know him. number 7 for England. He wore 7 for the most part. Played for Arsenal.
Ray
Gifted
Paulo?
footballer. Not Paulo. Not Paulo. Well, he is in that category. You know, the category of footballers.
Oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Platt.
keep going.
Platt.
David Platt?
Yeah.
That's very English, oh. That's as English as you
Platt,
can get.
Platt was a very good footballer. Platt,
But he was intelligent.
Waddle, yeah. Keegan.
Glenn
So
Hoddle,
Harry Kane is in that,
yes.
Yeah. Hoddle, yeah. Keegan, Kane is in that category of the very British footballers. Don't let him get the ball. You know, the best way to get to take care of Harry Kane is while the ball is going to him, try to slide it. If he gets that ball, he is this unique footballer that he's already anticipated the options in the future. Like he anticipates things. He has like 5 options. That's why it's very difficult to mark. And his first touch is incredible. People underrate his passing. Harry Kane is one of the best passers of the ball.
I mean, he had the highest last season, right?
You said?
He had the highest assist in Premiership last season, remember?
Yeah. So, like, today's show is not a surprise to me at all. You know, even like Yemi has said about Son, you have to know some Asian footballers that are technical. It doesn't even depend on the terrain. Kazu, Miura, Hondo, you can go on and on. Nakata for us. The technical Asian footballers, they're always good. You know, so what we saw today, it's not a surprise to me. And it was a case of Spurs taking their chances too. Because against City, if that was Man United, they probably wouldn't score 3 goals with the same chances. So it's the truth. It's the truth. When you play City, you take your chances. If you don't take your chances, that's it. You know, I think so. Like I was saying, I think City sort of disrespected Tottenham, but then they forgot there is that Italian is the mob squad now. Conte is in town. You know, Conte is in town. So you know, I'm not surprised at all. The outcome of that game, I'm not surprised at all.
Hold on,
Raji.
Comment. Sorry.
I'll say that it was actually a surprise for me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. I think that we should look at the results of Tottenham Hotspurs from the last few games they've played. They've won 1 in 4, losing to Wolves, losing to Southampton, losing to Chelsea. And I think that one of the things that I can say about this game was not the fact that Manchester City didn't respect Spurs. I think that Spurs was built specifically for this kind of game, where they know they're not going to control, where they know the team is going to press them and they can go in for the counter. We've seen that in games where Tottenham Hotspurs has to be the ones dictating where the game goes. They don't win those games. They didn't play as well as this against Southampton. They didn't play as well as this against Wolves. So this is not a situation where I feel like we're just that they all of a sudden turned up and they did something incredible. I think they did do something incredible in this game. But I think that this is the ideal game that this Tottenham Hotspurs is built for, where they have someone like Son who can connect the defense to the midfield, get the ball to Kane relatively quickly. And if you notice, all the goals that Kane scored, it was just one touch, a header into the ball, just a kick, just run into space, shoot. And the reason why those appeared was because Manchester City was pushing forward and leaving spaces for them to exploit. I think that if we played a team that wasn't giving them as much space, they probably wouldn't have these kinds of chances. So I would say that it was a great win for Tottenham Hotspur, but I think that this is more of a situation where the matchup worked in favor of Tottenham more than it was. I don't think that when they play like this against Leeds, we're going to see a 3-0 win. And it just shows the inconsistency that is going on with Tottenham right now. They're not a team that is built to control games and win. They're a team that is built for counter. and it's kind of weird to see them so high up the league. I will say this, that Kulusevski has been a great signing for them since he joined.
Yes.
He's giving them great
Yes.
crosses, giving them great opportunities to exploit the forward action. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
Okay. Let's take comment. This is very good point. Styles win fights pretty much. Pep was so frustrated he wanted to pull his hair out, but lo and behold, a man had no hair.
Mr. Man, you're not lying. You're still throwing jabs. What the?
I
Well,
respect
guy.
Harry son, aka Harry Song. Okay, that's a new one. I didn't know that's what they are. all these double names: McFred, Harry Song, but Bentacore and Herbex played their lives out today. Yeah.
Really good. True.
Yeah, that was good.
They try.
I think the most important part of this is it leaves an opening for Manchester United to win the league. Oh wait, sorry, I don't think that's.
Oh my God.
Let's say something, Mr. Moderator. Moderator, may I say something? Let me just say something.
I'm a podcaster. I'm a moderator, please. Go.
Oh, Mr. Podcaster, let me say something to Mr. Raji. Mr. Raji, you have been throwing these slight digs at Manchester United, so it's okay. We are on our way up right now. When we get Ten Hag, we'll go through the same revolution you guys did. But one thing on the match today. Good points that Mr. Raji made. I also want to believe that Kante. I had this question about this in transfer dealings. You notice in his midfield now, he does not have nobody that can actually hold the ball and control the game. You have the closest person he has is this guy. What's his name? Bentacore, who is also someone like a DM / not DM. So like I think I'm actually trying to see how they will play, because now there's no control in their midfield. They just have workman-like midfield. So all their creativities will come from the wings and Song and Lucas as well. So this will be a nice thing to say. Okay. I have a question for you guys. Do you see Spurs breaking top 4, getting into top 4?
With Conte, I don't want to bet against it.
So yeah,
I wouldn't bet against it with Conte.
Okay.
It's not possible. I'm going to say this. I don't think it's possible. I think that the core of the team, I mean, there's no spine right now. You've basically just said, you've already explained why they're not going to qualify. There's no spine in the team. It's like they have an adequate defense, a good midfield, and a strong attack. There's no spine. There's no spine that connects everything together. Look at who are they going to take out? Is it going to be Chelsea? Despite the fact that Chelsea was tired, they still won their game today. Is it going to be Manchester United? I don't know how they're going to take over Manchester United in this scenario. I mean, Manchester is Manchester. They have extremely strong attack. They have a good midfield. I mean, especially when they play well, and their defense can be strong. But I don't know if you're talking about Boychester or Manchester. It depends on game to game. We have to figure this out.
So Raji,
this is job in like 20 minutes. You don't have mouth like 7 times.
So Raji, this is my point. Liverpool and Man City stand alone. Then there is the next level, which is Chelsea. The rest, after those 3 teams, are very unserious. They're very unserious, almost irrelevant at this point. So, if Conte, for this season, is going to be difficult. I see your point, but I'm saying Conte there, I can't just bet against them. It doesn't look like that, but I can't bet against Antonio Conte. Because the rest of the teams, like Manchester United, is very unserious. Arsenal, Arsenal, I'll just leave Arsenal for Arsenal.
They won today. They won today.
Yes, they won today, but they did get it out of you. You're still stable. You can find sleep, at any point in time. Arsenal is not. Nobody is really bothered about that. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, the rest are for me this season. They're irrelevant.
Yeah.
And that fourth spot, it seems nobody wants it. Man United, do you want it? Well, let's see if I can check it out tomorrow or next week. Arsenal here very inconsistent. If Conte can decide to pull Spurs together and they get some consistency, it would even depend on the structure they have. If they get, because Italians love results. I mean, I've supported Italians for a very long time. They love results, and if Conte can pull results consistently together,
Yeah.
what stops them from getting fourth? Especially with United being very unserious.
Okay.
You know, it's possible. The chances are slim that it's possible.
Quick question. Let's not go to top 4 conversation. We did that last week. One final question. Just
Okay.
quick answer. I just want don't give me any reason. I'll start with you. Hear me? Man City going to blow the title. Are they going to throw away the title? Do you think Liverpool are going to?
No.
They are 6 points ahead of Liverpool. Liverpool has a game in hand, and Liverpool still go and play Man City at the Etihad. Do you think Man City are going to throw away the title? Yes or no?
No. It will be a challenge, but Man City is winning this thing. It's for Man City to lose. That's it.
Tata.
No chance. No chance. Because they have the greatest level of consistency, and they'll pull it again. They've stumbled now. They'll probably rack up 7 consecutive wins. So no chance.
No chance, Raji.
I say the same. I think that this is not. I think this is still Manchester City's championship to lose. I don't think they're going. I don't think they're going to drop the ball. I will say this, that a lot of people are talking about how it's going to end up, but I'm going to say that Arsenal is a lot more consistent than Tottenham, and West Ham is a lot more consistent than Tottenham. So you're going to be fighting those two teams, and Manchester is a lot more consistent than all the other teams. So it's either a draw or a win for Manchester, especially in the last 5 games. So I don't think that Tottenham has a chance of making top 4 this season. Maybe next season, and only next season if they open their purse. I don't think the leadership at Tottenham is going to give Conte what he needs to make this team better. And I think that is going to be the biggest problem they're going to have. There are big detriments to Tottenham Hotspurs, especially in the midfield. And for them to solve that problem, they need to open their purse string and spend a lot of money. But Daniel Levy he doesn't like to spend money, right? And he's going to bargain himself out of some of the best players in the world. And I think they're going to suffer the consequences of that. So I think they're going to be mid-table, 6, 7, 8 next season as well. Maybe qualify for Europe, but I think they've reached their ceiling.
Okay, good point. Finally, back to the title race. I think it's going to go down to the wire. I really do think so. I think it's going, because Liverpool are going to go on the tier 2. It's going to go down to the wire. But I think Man City will sneak it in the end. But they'll probably sneak it like 3 or 4 points. I think it's going to go down to the wire. Because Liverpool are looking imperious now. They're looking back to the Liverpool that won the Champions League and when they won the league. So that's my opinion. Champions League. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll give you one more point, but I have to leave soon. Okay. The purchase of Diaz is one of the best things that Liverpool did in the January transfer window. Diaz gives them something. It gives them a different option going forward. And you can see how big of an impact he has had since he joined. So I think that they are doing some very strategic things at Liverpool, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But I still think that Manchester City is going to win.
Okay, good point. Quick.
All right, I have to go. Thank you very much for having me.
Raji Baba.
Bye.
Yeah.
Mr. Raji Baba, thank you. You're not going to be throwing jabs at us.
Champions League quick review. Manchester United. Away.
Oh my God.
Quick review. Let's just do a quick one. I'll start with let me start with Tata. Say, oh my God, that's the one. Tell me where the key battles are for this game on Wednesday. Where's the key battles? Okay, key battles is going to make us talk extendedly. Where do you think the most important battles for this game?
Suarez spinning Maguire and João Felix spinning Lindelof. That's what I'm worried about right now.
Varane is back now. I think he's back.
Yeah, well, Varane is back, but Suarez, I don't like him because of 2010.
Yeah.
I don't like him because of 2010.
But
his talent is unbelievable. You know, Suarez is historically one of the great. When he is the kind of striker that would be appreciated after retirement.
Yeah.
Personally, he is one of the best strikers I have personally seen. The way he plays football. He is what now 97 years old, but the things he's still doing. Yeah. Unbelievable footballer. So
that's what it's going today.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really, really concerned. I think this tie really truly depends on Suarez. If he turns up, we don't stand a chance. Because already we are very inconsistent. And it's honestly, I'm worried, but then it's the Champions League, and my other hope is that because the away goals rule has been scrapped, right?
Yes.
Now it's just play football.
Correct.
And
whoever wins.
Yeah, whoever wins. So we do stand a chance based on that, but I honestly really think this tie depends on what Suarez chooses to turn up.
Okay.
If the real Suarez turns up, we are in trouble. I'm telling you.
Suarez, please stand up.
Yeah.
Please stand up. Okay. Yemi?
The real Suarez is not going to turn up because the real Suarez, if you watch Atletico this season, they've not been performing well. They won their last match against Alaves or what team 3-0.
Yep.
But they are sixth and they are so inconsistent. It's ridiculous. They are. So where would the battles? Where are the critical place? If we gain control of the midfield, we beat them. Period. Because their defense is not as great as it was in the past, and their goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers there is in the world, is having almost like a De Gea type season that he had like a season or two ago. He's not leaking, but like the defense is not that good at all. So if our midfield can keep it compact enough and don't release chances for like the likes of a 50%, because Suarez right now is 60%. The old Suarez that you think is not there anymore, man. João Felix is not really decent performing as much because this team has hit this team. Oh yes. But listen, he's playing against Manchester United. That match will always ring bells in his head. And that guy, I saw that guy toast some players in my life. But yeah, in midfield, if we can control the midfield and create chances, I see us. We might nick this one though. Midfield. If we win the midfield this battle, which is difficult, if we win it,
when has United won a midfield?
Which is true, and I know you're going to ask me that question. So now let me answer it. We haven't in a long time. But one thing that I'm happy about is the fact that Pogba, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing with Pogba now. And I'm beginning to realize that when he plays, Bruno can have a bad game, but it's like when he sees Pogba, it's like his legs start to walk a little bit better because he now knows that most of the creativity is not coming from me. We just need someone to control the midfield. We have those guys that are going to run. Fred McTominay, they are runners. They will track the ball. But we need a controller. Pogba probably is the only player that we have on our team, apart from old Matic, that can get on the ball and actually control and carry the team. Whenever he plays, everybody around him play better. If Pogba is on his game, we win. I don't care who. Rashford can be throwing away 20 billion chances. If Pogba is on his game on that midfield, because there's nobody in their midfield that can stop Pogba. Not Saul, not Koke, not Llorente, not Lama. None of them can control him. If he gets that chance, and I know that Simeone will game plan against Pogba, he's going to truck up that midfield to make sure we don't gain control. We have not had control in a while. But yeah, I'm still on that point.
But we have Mr. Champions League now. Mr. Champions League himself. My thoughts are, I agree with everything you said about the midfield. It's key battles, for sure. Atletico are not in a place. They are just struggling to get fourth. I think they're probably fourth now. They won today. I almost would have even preferred the Atletico. Funny enough, I almost would have preferred that they were in good form and we're about to play them so that we can come out the underdogs. The fact that they're not in good form worries me a lot.
True.
They're going to be up for it. They're going to be up for it. Packed, Wanda Metropolitano atmosphere. But I'm actually going to back Manchester United over 2 legs. I think we will sneak it just because of Mr. Champions League. He has this hold over them, and I sometimes I believe a lot in history.
Yeah.
Of football. Especially in Champions League, he has this. There's this thing, and they see Ronaldo there. They're always going to be so wary. For me, I think the key place apart from the midfield, the most important person for us is Sancho. The way he's going to progress the ball from midfield into their box.
Yeah, correct.
The progression, because that is going to be key. He's the one person that progresses the ball into dangerous areas, not just carries it into dangerous areas in opposition boxes. And how he plays over those 2 legs. It's going to be a 2-leg game for sure. After the first leg,
For sure.
it's going to be 2 legs. It's down to the final few minutes. That's what I see in this time. But I think we'll edge it over 2 legs. And that's my prediction.
It won't be a high scoring game either. It won't be a high scoring game
over 2 legs
because both teams are not really scoring that much goals anyway. So yeah, you're right. Completely right.
1-1-1-0. I don't know which leg 1-1-1-0. Whichever leg, but I think we'll edge it 2-1. That's my prediction. I'm backing United.
Over 2 legs, over 2 games, 2-1 aggregate.
Yeah, that's what.
That's bloody tight, but I'll take it.
Is that what's your prediction?
I think I'm looking at that score line for the first leg, but I think so this is what I can see. The first leg will be a very disciplined performance by Manchester United. But then again, I'm just personally really scared of Suarez. I'm not even gonna lie. The whole world is watching. I don't like the dude, but his talent is unquestionable.
Yeah.
The second leg at Old Trafford with the pressure, I just think we might bottle that game. That's what my gut feeling tells me. But I'm hoping that is this tied 2-1 you're talking about. But I can see that scoreline for the first game. We might even take it 2-1.
Okay.
But the second leg at Old Trafford, I am actually concerned about that game. And then barring injuries, maybe we stand a chance. If say there is this crucial injury to like Pogba or Sancho or CR7, it's over. That's what I can see.
I agree. And the second leg is so far away. That's why I never. Yeah. Second round is so hard to predict because of between both legs. Second leg is like 3 weeks away from the first leg, so it's almost ridiculous to predict.
Yeah.
Because everything can change by then. Injuries, form, all of that can all change. Yemi, what's your prediction?
First leg, I'm hoping for a draw, maybe 1-1. We tend to score. We know how to score at least 1 goal. 1-1, Atletico. Second leg in Manchester United, 2-1.
Okay, so you're saying 3-2. 3-2 on aggregate.
3-2, sir.
That's very realistic. Very realistic.
With fasting and prayer.
With fasting and prayer, okay, so it's not realistic. I take that back then. We come to the last section. I like today. We moved on very quickly through different sections. Kudos and donkey of the week. My kudos of the week. I'll say both of them together. My kudos of the week, of course, goes to Harry Kane, Harry Song, like Harry Kane and Son. So I'll put them together. Harry Kane and Harry Son. They gave my kudos away. Fantastic performance, especially by Harry Kane. Proper, modern, keyword, modern center forward performance today. So that's my kudos. My donkey of the week is the crybabies at PSG. They lost today to Lens 3-1. Of course, everybody knows that they are crybabies. The level of indiscipline of those players is ridiculous. They don't want to play as a unit. You can see, and of course, part of that falls on the manager, of course. But you can see that they are not following instructions. You can see clearly they have zero interest in pressing, expose the team. They are always very petulant. They lose their heads very quickly. When they have a lot, if they had calmer heads, they win this game today easily. Just be calm. They just got frustrated too easily. Yes, officiating was kind of weird, but that's why you're a big team. Who calm heads. And I'm not just giving them donkey because of this performance. They do this too often. Last season when they lost to City, when they saw that the game was going in from them, they just like kicking people, getting people players sent off. It's too common among the same set of players. Verratti, Neymar, Mbappe, and Di Maria losing their heads. It's like, come on now. Like, keep your heads together. So yeah, they get my donkey of the week. The whole of all of them together. They are not disciplined. They get my donkey of the week. Tata, kudos and donkey of the week.
Kudos of the week, man. Hurricane. What we saw today was just special. But then I'll also chip in. He has a twin brother, Moses Simon. Unbelievable. For nonce. Kudos of the week.
He was.
He played well today.
Yeah.
International. Yes.
Oh yeah. Yep. And my donkey of the week has to be every individual, every dubious individual in the basement looking for one thing or the other to write about Manchester United. I know we are having troubles now, but if you're putting something out, let it be true and accurate.
Yes.
Don't just write stuff to just stimulate the entire planet, So the donkey of the week goes to all the people who are writing a bunch of lies about my club. I love my club. They're not playing well, but at the same time, if you're going to speak about it, speak the truth. So right now, the fan base doesn't even know what is true or not.
Yes.
Players coming out to debunk things, and Ragnick saying some things are absolute nonsense. I've never heard him go close to cursing, but he almost wanted to curse. So, all of these guys sitting in the basement with sharp fingers, just calm down. All of you are donkeys, man.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, to wrap us up, what's your kudos and your donkey of the week?
My kudos I'm with Itata. My kudos are Hurricane and Song. They are beginning to give me the Beckham Henry vibe. I am not saying they are like them. I'm just saying I'm beginning to sense that vibe. Beckham Henry, but those two people that are they can win games even when they are midfield and their defense is crap. I'm beginning to see a vibe like that. My donkey, just like what Itata says, they are the press. This is my deal with the press. If you're going to come out and say all these things about Manchester United, how about you stand up with your chest, hit your chest, and actually say it out? We are hearing from this, that. I know you're not going to do that. But in terms of day in, day out, I'm at a place where I don't know who is leaking anything. I don't know who is saying the truth. I don't know who is saying a lie. Gary Neville too also came out. He said you're not going to mention names, but you were talking about all that trash. Why talk about it if you are not going to? Because you are adding more to the stress that is from the press and on the players. So Gary Neville too included as one of my donkeys. If you are going to talk, then it's either you open everything up or don't say anything and go to the players. You have access to the players. Go to the players and then go to the players or whoever it is and then talk to them. So again, Jala said Maguire. Well, Maguire has been a donkey though, to be honest with you. So it's the press. For me, it's more of the press and more of the press for my donkey. Yeah.
Okay. Before we sign out, last comment. Oga Kwame says, "Donkey of the week like that is look at that club." Allegedly, stop carrying fake news. That comment. Allegedly. Then kudos Mbappe, clutch FC. I agree. This clutch goal against Real Madrid. That was a clutch goal. We've come to the end, right on the hour. Thanks everyone for joining us. Everyone in the comments. Oga Kwame was the one single. You have a comment?
Yeah, no, shout out to the Super Falcons for winning their qualifiers. You got to put it in there. They did well. They beat the Ivory Coast in Abuja. Second leg on the 23rd. for qualifiers for the African
What was the scores
Women's
of the match?
Cup of Nations. 2-0.
Okay.
They won 2-0. And
Mm.
of course, Manchester United plays tomorrow. So wake up! It's an early kickoff. Wake up for the game. It's going to be a good one, I hope. So
Okay. For all of you that are watching, I support you. I will support you in spirit. I will be in worship while you are watching. Thank everyone. Yemi, Mr. Spliff, thank you for joining us. And we are
yes,
out.
sir.